lot more than the other high HP Pokemon in the format. 140 is what I'm used to with Magnezone. So he actually needed that plus power to take the knockout with Donphan. Now, otherwise, he could have just copycatted and retreated to Yanmega Prime. They would have had the same hand size, and he could have done Sonic Boom for 70 to knock out. But I guess William just wanted to do the Donphan here. Donphan doesn't have that many hit points left. It does give Lucas an easy prize, but it also forces him to waste resources because he can't get a knockout unless he blue flares, leaving him with a full 110 HP Yanmega to work with. Now, as I was talking about earlier, because he had that Tepig down, a Twins gives Lucas access right back into another Emboar, so he's able to work with that again, but William, if he keeps getting catchers, can keep pulling up that Emboar. Eventually, he can run out of switches. Lucas plays a catcher of his own, and he does decide, oh, I do want that Yanmega, so William's plan is kind of foiled, bringing up the Donphan, playing the plus power, gets the easy knockout there, and he still has that high damage Donphan that he can knock out later. William evolves to Donphan, and he's back in that same awkward scenario that he was in before. I can't take any knockouts here, but I can pull up the Emboar and cross my fingers that Lucas can't do anything about it. And he's definitely looking at that junk arm. He knows if he discards 2 cards, puts him in a pretty low hand size. Looks like he doesn't have too many options, so he's thinking about what he can discard. But definitely likely thinking about the catcher. Debates retreating, asks, oh, is it okay if I don't retreat? These guys are pretty friendly. As I said, they play all the time, so neither of them are going to be too strict on each other on small things like that. Now, it looks like he's debating playing the plus power. Right now I can't see his hand, so I'm not sure what his train of thought is right now. It looks like he's picking cards out of his hand to discard with Junk Arm, or just planning on playing Junk Arm. Settles on Junk Arm, discards Judge and an Energy, and does play the catcher. Pulls up Emboar, plus power, and Juniper. Did not see the Juniper in his hand, and it makes his hand a lot more strong. He can discard his tiny hand, draw 7 cards, and he's right back and working with a couple of options. Drops Zoroark, which is something that he definitely wants to do. Keeps Rayquaza Deoxys Legend at bay. Retreats, he's got the energy he needs to deal 70 damage, and while it does give him the opportunity to attack back with Outrage, dealing 90 damage with Outrage isn't really that good right now. He's probably still going to have to keep using Blue Flare to deal a lot of pressure, and he can knock out Reshiram again on his next turn by dealing just 60 damage. Oh, I'm sorry. Reshiram's not active. The glare's messing me up now. He has 2 plus powers. He Earthquakes for 80 damage on the Emboar active. I'm sorry, guys. I'm late. I'm just taking a break from studying. I didn't think I'd do this already, but here we are. I thought it'd be fun to comment on the game. I do apologize. So he's got 80 damage on his Emboar because he played 2 plus powers, which leaves him 1 plus power away from knocking out the Emboar like he was before, or he can knock him out with... well, he doesn't have Yanmega anymore, so he needs that plus power, or he's going to need a Zoroark. Lucas looking at his opponent's discard pile, trying to think how many of these resources he played, how many more catchers am I going to face? Probably one of the big questions in his head. And gets judged away from his hand, which didn't seem that strong anyways. Wasn't able to attach very many energy, and he had to leave that Emboar active, had no access to the switch this time. So William cuts, Lucas cuts, and both players draw 4. William probably looking for a way to get that plus power so he can get a knockout. Does not look like he has it this time. He's already played plenty of plus powers, so Emboar is safe one last turn. Deals 60 more with Earthquake, leaving that massive 150 HP Emboar with 140 damage on it. Lucas plays Collector. Now, right now, not that strong of a card. It lets you get basic Pokemon, which means he's probably just trying to thin out his deck, find a way, get something going. It's interesting to me that he plays the Collector instead of the Twins in his hand. I think he's actually tied in prizes right now. Probably why he can't play Twins. So he just evolves, has those basics, so out of his deck so he doesn't draw them later. And he's out of energy still. He needs an energy to discard with Roast Reveal, get into his cards of his deck, or ways to pull energy from his discard pile. With no energy, Embor's still stuck, no switch, no anything. And because Lucas is not down in prizes, he can't abuse that Twins. William attaches to the Zorua. And now if he gets Zoroark, then that gives him the option to deal heavy damage right back with... Oh, and there's the Zoroark. Gives him the option to deal heavy damage right back to a Reshiram. He also drops a Zekrom. I don't think that he runs that many Zekrom in the deck, but it's just one option to the deck. He's got high HP. He absorbs the damage that he's already spreading on his own bench with Donphan, and it allows him to deal some outrage damage, get cheap prizes on Yanmega and such in the mid to late game. There are a lot of decks, mainly just called Donphan and Dragons, that center around this strategy of just using Donphan and Zekrom and Reshiram, those high HP Pokemon, abusing Earthquake, that kind of stuff, but seems like he only runs just a few, kind of runs a hybrid strategy of both Stage 1s and the Donphan Dragon strategy. Lucas, finally able to play that Twins, get some energy, and deal some damage. Unfortunately, doesn't have that many energy. Donphan is pretty brutal. He can only deal 10 damage with Outrage. William attaches. Plays Catcher. And looks like he's going Fat Pig hunting again. Now, just the Stage 1 Pig Knight has 3 retreat. Not much better than the 4 retreat that Embor already had, and William just being able to continuously pull up these pigs is giving Lucas a really hard time. He's already going pretty slow with all his stuff, and while he does give up a prize, knocking out one of his own benched Pokemon, and that's the Manaphy after doing so many Earthquakes, definitely more advantageous to William, just dealing damage while he can. Lucas, kind of desperate, evolves to the other kind of Embor. This one will not let him continuously attach energies as he likes, but it at least gives him a little bit more HP to work with. Prevents William from taking a prize. He plays Fisherman, now he has all these energy, and he probably wishes he had that a long time ago, back when he was stalling with Embor for all this time, because now he has all this energy and he can't attach as many as he likes from his hand anymore. Lucas definitely in trouble. Even though the prizes are 3-3, he's probably going to lose. Attaches to Reshiram, so he can do a Blue Flare. And his hope is probably, well, I stall behind this Embor as long as I can, force William to spread his own bench with Earthquake. Well, or he can get a Fighting. Now he no longer spreads his own bench and he can use Heavy Impact. Takes a knockout, but he's probably just going to try and attach all the energy that he can, and hopefully I can deal 1 or 2 blue flares, maybe get him out of attackers. Drops another Reshiram on the bench. Roast Reveal, discards a fire, draw 3 more. His deck is getting really thin, and that's bad for him because he doesn't have any real acceleration to his energy. He's going to set up pretty slow if he's going to have to keep on discarding fires, and unfortunately, doesn't look like his deck runs plus power. He cannot knock out this Donphan. He does Blue Flare, that does 100 damage, but Donphan's still got 10 left. And he's definitely in a bad spot. Heavy Impact is 90 at a time, and while that's going to give him the Outrage option, as it always does when you don't knock out Reshiram, Lucas is just in an overall bad spot. We also see a catcher in William's hand, which means William can even just pull up Ninetales, take the prize there. There's 2 Ninetales, that's 2 prizes, as long as you can keep dealing 90 damage. William checking his discard, probably counting how many catchers he's played, how many resources he has left, just to make sure. Well, don't want to run out of catchers, do anything stupid to blow the lead that I've already got. He drops the Yanma, plays the catcher, pulls up a Ninetales, and likely he's just going to heavy impact and take that prize. Now he's got 1 prize left. All he needs is a junk arm, all he needs is another catcher, and Lucas is done. He pulls up that Ninetales and gets knocked out. Lucas, trying to think about who to promote. At this point, just scoops. That's the end of game 1, and at that point Lucas knew the game was lost. There's no way he can take 3 prizes without William just taking 1. He has all these other Pokemon, and really things just fell apart. Now, part of this wasn't really William setting up too fast. He did get fast attackers out, but Lucas just got some really bad draws off that Ninetales roast reveal, was not able to hit his supporters, and he got into the awkward scenario where, because he was tied in prizes, he was no longer able to abuse the twins that his deck kind of runs an engine around. William, on the other hand, was able to set up fast enough, get quick knockouts, and stop Lucas from really getting any of his stuff out. Catcher is really brutal on Emboar in this format. 4 retreat is a lot, 3 retreat on the Pignite is also a lot, and if you can't retreat your main source of energy, it's eventually going to get knocked out and you're going to fall behind. Now, Lucas does run a heavier switch count. Most decks have to if they want to keep playing something with Emboar in this format, but this video kind of just shows deck definitely does suffer when Catcher has been released and you no longer have to flip for that Pokemon reversal. Now, I did record a little bit of game 2. I ended up stopping. I was partially paranoid that the table kept shaking, and it really wasn't that bad in the end, but I wanted to change the spot of the camera for game 3. About halfway through game 2, I assumed there was going to be a game 3. That time Lucas took a very big lead, things are going really well for him, and then same story. Catcher on the Emboar, he can't move Emboar anymore, and he just can't take prizes, and he ended up falling apart to William stage 1s again. William wins his first tournament ever, big congrats to him. He also beat me in Swiss, so congrats to him for that. Anyways, thanks for watching this video with me, thanks for watching these matches. I'll try and get more matches at the finals of any battle roads that I continue to go to for the end of this season. Hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more. Peace for now.